Hey guys, this is Danish. I'm back with our free community webinar sessions, where we host the experts like Patrick, and we talk about immigration, tax strategies, registering business for digital nomads, and to be honest, for kind of everyone who's planning to move abroad. So I'm really excited to host Patrick today. But before we dive in, I just quickly want to give a shout out and share some of the community resources with you. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. There we go. So first shout out I want to give to Safety Wing. If you're looking for the cheapest insurance out there for digital nomads with 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, that's your call. They're quite famous among digital nomadic communities, and it's like $42 a month or $12 a week. So check them out. Cool products. Second shout out to SoulGuard. Founder is one of us, digital nomad. He saw that opportunity. He created this, like a check-in closet, he calls it. You can see that in the picture. Incredible products, and we have exclusive 15% off because he is one of us. So he want to offer the exclusive discount. So check it out. Adrian is the founder. Awesome products made out of ocean plastic, and we love them. Third shout out is VisaDB. Yay! So actually, I'm the founder. So guys, you can go to VisaDB today. You can check out all the global experts around nomad visa help, tax optimization. You can browse all the experts. You can even browse. You can find experts. Patrick is already there. There's hundreds of services, but you can find there. Here you go. That's Patrick. So you can see that. You simply need to click on the service, and you can see what's included. And then boom, you chat with Patrick. He offers paid consultation. As you can see, the pricing. If you are from this webinar, he will offer you 10% discount as well. So just let him know that you are coming from this webinar. So let me turn off the screen and come back to our incredible host. I'm going to say ghost. So Patrick, how are you? How's your
I'm good, man. I'm not dead yet, thank God. So I'm not a ghost, but we're doing all right. We're doing all right.
That's so good, Perry. You have a great sense of we had a great time with you last time. So let's start. Let me dive in straight away. First, I want to understand Armenia is not like a country which people kind of know a lot about. So if we start our conversation today, can you please tell us where exactly Armenia is?
Yeah, Armenia is let's say essentially at the nexus of Europe and Asia. It's an old Silk Road country. I would say Armenians are more known worldwide rather than Armenia itself, but that's slowly but surely changing as the country evolves really rapidly. So it would be just south of Russia and Georgia, north of Iran, east of Turkey, west of Azerbaijan. So right smack in the middle of the South Caucasus. I'd say the southernmost border of Europe.
Wow, this looks like a hot pot of different cultures because of the countries you mentioned it's surrounded by. And if I want to ask you one more question, then why, what are Armenia famous for? What are the things Armenia is famous for?
Mostly it's diaspora, because just in terms of business, Armenians have always been known as what's called middlemen minorities. And so these are minorities who have always been successful outside of their home countries, right? It would be the Jews in Europe, the Lebanese in Africa, the South Asians in the Caribbean. So these are groups whose countries have stayed poor, but they've always developed this business acumen. So, for example, the first cafe in Vienna, the Viennese cafe, was started and set up by Pascal and Diodato, two Armenian traders from Iran. You have Armenian churches all the way in Singapore, Calcutta, and India, and so we're a very spread out network of people who look very different. I myself am one, but I don't look like it. So very spread out and known for their cultural contributions and business contributions to the world. Now that said, Armenia is changing very quickly and very quickly becoming. Since 2018, Armenia has become a democracy essentially, and it's actually as of this year, the rankings. It's now the least corrupt country in Eastern Europe. In the Eastern Partnership. So outside of the EU, ranking even above Ukraine, Moldova, and Georgia. So Armenia is doing generally. It's not perfect, but it's improving. And this year, again, the startup ecosystem. They are the number one country in the region. They're placed number 60 on the planet. So in terms of IT, high tech, and startups, Armenia is quickly punching above its weight. We have a few unicorns on the way already, so things are developing.
That's so great to hear. To be honest, this is like really a non-bloggy definition you gave us, and that's what we're gonna learn. The real thing about Armenia. And I'm so glad, being a startup founder myself, connected with startup community, I'm hearing a lot about Georgia and Armenia, and you kind of validated it. So this actually a good start. Let me ask you further. Let's get into further details. So Armenia recently started attracting the global entrepreneurs, I should say, or tech companies or founders from around the world by offering them some tax benefits when they register a company. So what is that program called, and what are some benefits of those? What are some offer or features of that program?
Yeah, so essentially there's two separate wings of this that would be interesting for any digital nomad. Number one, separate of whether or not you work online. If you're an individual entrepreneur, you can register your company. It takes 9 minutes. You can do it digitally. It's extremely quick. And you can start operating that very same day. Now, that said, if you're making under $241,000 which is a substantial sum, you pay a 5% flat fee in Armenia. So you register as a non-VAT payer, and so there's no VAT, there's nothing else. You just pay 5%. I think it's filed quarterly. And at the end of the year, there's just an extra, like a small fee, which is, I think it's like a military donation and two or three other smaller contributions. But that adds up to like $230. It's not a massive sum here. But essentially, once you pay that off, you're done. So that's really easy, right? You can always kind of guess what you'll be paying at the end of the year. So it's really, really simple. For me, it's very, for me, that's pretty much ideal. Less paperwork, less hassle, less headaches. So I'm happy with that. Now, that said, if you work in IT, you can apply for what's called an IT certificate, and then you pay zero tax. And if you have employees, you pay even less. If you have local Armenian employees, you pay even less. What's it called? Social Security, if I'm not basically payroll tax, right? So it goes down from 21% to 10%. And I know that in the EU it's a 23%. So if you hire anyone in Armenia, it's 10%. So that's on top of that thing. Now, this was quite specific when it came to IT professionals, but as of 2022, they've expanded it. So as of last January, it's expanded to basically encompass anyone who works in anything related online. So if you do consulting services for online startups, if you're a graphic designer, if you write code, if you're doing anything that's related to an online business rather than something brick and mortar, even if you're providing marketing consulting services, that falls under that umbrella, so you pay zero tax.
Wow. This is such an incredible offer, because zero is, I think, the best offer, right? If you're not paying any taxes. So that actually is really exciting. I want to ask you, as you mentioned, so we have a community of 154,000 digital nomads, and we have mostly contractors, freelancers, and they are registering now in Estonia or the US. Are you saying that Armenia is also a good option for them?
I would say the way the EU is going, in terms of the over-regulation of businesses, especially now after COVID, where you're going to have more taxes, increases in cost of living, and you're going to have some sneaky taxes that you're not aware of that will be kind of, as you know, right, inflation is a tax on the poor. But regardless, I think Armenia would be a good option, because in terms of even in terms of banking, like I tried to open up my bank account in Latvia, and they refused me. Like, for no reason. I'm a Canadian citizen. I have I don't have a criminal record. The company was registered in Latvia. Everything was great, but they just denied it. So I had to pay what? It was like €180 opening fee as well. No reason, just nope, bye, done. So the banks are getting more and more difficult. So in terms of banking in Armenia, you can do banking in Euro, USD, rubles, and the local currency. Their savings options are absolutely fantastic. They offer Visa and MasterCard, so credit cards that give you also travel insurance, lounge access, and their saving accounts. I mean, before inflation, it made more sense. Now it's a little bit off. But, if you're storing euro in Armenia, I think it was a 4.5% year-on-year return in a term deposit. But if you store in local currency, it's 9%. which is fantastic. If you're leaving $10,000 and just not touching it for a year, you have an extra $1,000 or $900. So there's some great advantages just in using the banking as well.
That you actually answered my banking question. So if I further go into detail about banking, if I am a foreign founder like Jennifer, I am Jennifer, let's say, and I want to open, I'm an e-commerce consultant. I provide consultancy as a contractor, and I am a German citizen, let's say, or a Canadian citizen. Can I open my bank account remotely?
Remotely is difficult only recently because of the influx of Russians. So the whole system is backed up. So for reference, Armenia is the third country of destination for Russian emigres who are leaving. These are mostly IT professionals, right? So Armenia has registered something like 6,000 new businesses open since April. So it's great. I mean, it's tons of IT people and entrepreneurs and startup founders, and it was like that before, but now it's even more so. But what that means is there's a backup. So when I practice, so I already have my own bank account because I've been living there for a year. But when I set up my IT business and I just wanted to open a business bank account, they said 7 days for due diligence. It took a little bit less than 3 weeks. I got it, but it was longer than what they expected. So you'll have a bit of backup. So for that very reason, I would say come to Armenia to do it. It'll be more difficult to do it remotely. It's still possible, but
absolutely. I mean, to be honest, this maybe one country, maybe in the US you could do that, but most of the countries you have to make a visit. And I encourage digital nomads, if you are planning a long-term business, totally worth it. Make a visit. Armenia sounds like an incredible country. Hang out with you and also check out the country, live there for a month or two, right? And then open a bank account.
I mean, listen, the cost of living, Nambeo's most recent statistics show that Armenia is 40 cents on the dollar compared to living in New York City. Now, New York City is expensive, but you can extrapolate. I'm currently in Montreal, right? So let's say it would be 60 cents on the dollar. I'm still saving more than 40% living in Armenia. So,
wow.
It's a beautiful country. It's affordable.
Digital nomads kind of dream. If I ask you, so to open a company with a 0% tax, if I ask you the requirements to do that, what are the documents required, or what is the process looks like?
Translated passport, and you show up at the government office, take a little ticket. When they call you up, from the moment they call you up to the moment your company is registered, start to finish, about 10 minutes. If you're doing this turnover tax one, that's 10 minutes, but you have to pay like an administration fee of 3,200 Armenian drams, which is the equivalent of $7 US. They give you the little document, and then you can go to the bank and show them you set up the company, and you can start your process that way. If you're opening an LLC, just show up with your translated passport, and if you don't have articles of incorporation, they provide you like a templated one, and that takes little less than 20 minutes, and you can start the same day. In both cases, you can start business the same day.
Oh my gosh, this sounds like a quite streamlined process. So you actually answered one more question. So how many structures are there for business? Is it like a US C Corp and LLC? Is it the similar structures there?
The C Corp is like, it's for freelancers. Is that it? Like it's individuals?
It was like a corporation, big corporation. It's like, it has its own, like entity. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
There's a couple different ways. There's LLCs, there's co-ops, there's also like this freelancer one, which is the 5% turnover one.
Yeah.
And then the LLCs you can apply as a non-VAT payer or a VAT payer. So non-VAT is you don't pay 18%. Bigger companies, you have to pay 18% VAT on invoicing and so on. It is standard stuff.
Okay. And what do you recommend for digital nomads who are like Jennifer's use case? What is the structure? What is the best structure for her to run her business online? LLC, I believe.
If you're consulting, no. I would do individual entrepreneur because it's way less paperwork. Accountant's affordable over there. It's like $50 a month if you have to do translations, that kind of stuff. But essentially, you want to do that, register, and then get your accountant to register you as a non-VAT payer, and then you're just paying 5% turnover. And especially if you're doing IT, you ask your accountant to apply for that IT certificate, and you pay zero tax. You have to renew that every year. The zero tax, I think it's up to a certain threshold, but After that, again, 5%. I mean, it's really not the end of the world. And on top of that, like, cost of living in Armenia is very, very affordable. It's a beautiful place. The rents are a bit inflated because of all the Russians that just showed up, but that should taper out in the fall. An apartment that was going for $400 a month now shot up to like 1,000, 1,200. That's in the city center, though, of course.
Wow.
So that's the only, that's the only hurdle I would say is like you'll have inflated like rent, but it's temporary. It's just because all the Russians started showing up, so everything shot up. Other than that, food is cheap. Everything is great.
Sure. So
so that's the structure. One small thing I just want to touch up on to be careful for Jennifer in particular, especially if you're doing e-commerces. There's no Stripe or PayPal in Armenia. It's not that you can't access it; it's that you can't register as an Armenian resident. So you would have to do it from your EU country or your American or Canada or whatnot. That's the only thing to keep in mind. But if you're a consultant and you're invoicing directly, you can also have the bank create like a direct payment terminal for you, or just do bank transfers. But it's important to note there's no Stripe or PayPal.
Yeah, that's incredible, because now you're reading my mind. So what are the payment options? So if let's say Stripe is not available, that's okay. What are the other payment options available? Are there any payment options available which allows me to charge my customers via credit card?
Yeah, like I said, you can ask the bank to create a payment portal for you, like a little online checkout, which is not a problem. They all do that. Another thing that you can do, this is kind of a gray area, so like I'm not an expert. Don't take my advice at your own risk. But one thing that you can do is essentially use like TransferWise from your country. Like use Wise. Revolut's a bit more of a headache, but Wise would be ideal. Or you can use Payoneer as well. But basically, you do your billing from there. You pool the money, and then once a month you just withdraw, and you have one invoice. And you have the accountant declare that one invoice. So that would be another alternative. So you can keep Stripe, but you would just have it outside the country. So just that could put you in headaches in your home country. That said, though, it's just a payment processor, so I really doubt you would have any. I don't see why you would be tax liable over there. But I'm not an expert, so just make sure you do this stuff at your own risk. But that would be an alternative.
Yeah, payment options are like required. Like, for example, like Stripe wants you to have a business. With the Stripe, you cannot open personally.
Yeah.
But is Wise available or Revolut available for Armenian businesses, or not yet?
Not yet. Wise is available as like personally for Armenians, so you can register, but you won't get the debit card.
Oh, okay. So you can get the account personally. Okay, but of course, digital nomads who are opening their businesses, they will not be Armenian residents, right? So they maybe not be able to open.
No. So if you want to become an Armenian resident, you register your company and then you apply for it's like a work permit where you apply yourself, but you pretty much get it automatically. So a close friend of mine who's in the crypto space, he's an Indian citizen. He's been living in Armenia for 2 years. He did it that way. He renews every year, and he's kind of employing himself. It takes 2 seconds with a notary in the tax office, and you're done. That's an easy way to do it.
Okay, that's incredible. And Jennifer has a lot of questions, so we have 9 minutes left. So I will quickly go to these questions. So to summarize this, Armenia is offering a digital nomads, or to be honest, anyone to open two types of structures. One is an individual and entrepreneur, which does not pay any taxes, and there is another one is LLC. There is no taxes until certain threshold, and after that there could be 5%, and it's allowed to all the citizens of the planet. The process is single day. It takes single day. Banking system is pretty strong and secure. And they offer online portal where you can collect the wire transfer. And that kind of summarize it. But just one thing I want to ask you, if I want to make a payment abroad from an Armenian bank account, is it possible?
Yeah. There's zero problems with doing international transfers back and forth. Standard, put the IBAN, put the bank, the recipient's address. For that, there's no issue at all. I'm just saying, if you want to make your life easier and use Stripe or payment, like I use Thrivecard, which is my payment processors and so on. Yeah. So that's separate. I might abandon it, to be honest, and just get people to pay me through TransferWise. But other than that, it's really not It's just
Sure.
something to keep in mind, right? Because I had a friend of mine who registered and he was happy about the tax stuff, but then found out that he couldn't use Stripe, so he had to use his Canadian Stripe and PayPal. Other than that, it's really not a big deal
Yeah.
at all.
That's incredible. So I will quickly cover the questions. I think you are answering, but you're fast, so I love it. You kind of answered, but if we go to the question and answer, there's two questions. Andreas asked, how long do you have to be in Armenia to set up your business? I think you already answered, but please can you answer again?
So my recommendation is come for a month, not because you have to. You can come in and out for a day. If it's just like a if you don't care about the country and you just want to set up the business, take advantage of the tax policies and all that, come for a weekend. It's just that then you'll have to do your bank app. If you want to use the banking system, you have to do your application and so on. It's always easier if you are a tax resident of Armenia, but it's not necessary. But for that, you might have to do multiple trips. So it is better to come for 1 month and enjoy the country a little bit. But yeah, in terms of actual time from start to finish, I'll tell you my own journey. I set up the company, and one day I went the same day to apply at the bank for the business, and I had to fill in documents. That took about 20-30 minutes. They just ask questions: where are your clients coming from? What type of business are you doing? Or so on. I told them I want a USD and Euro bank accounts. Then I had to come in 3 weeks later just to sign a document, and my bank accounts were open. So you can do that in 2 trips. Or you can just stay for the month. Also, Jennifer, I think, asked something about living in the EU Schengen country, but not an EU citizen. Can you, in relation to what, can you specify your question, please?
Yeah. Jennifer, can you please clarify your questions until I can ask another question from Patrick? Patrick, you mentioned about USD and Euro. So that means I can open multi-currency bank accounts without a problem.
Yeah, that's what I use. I get paid in USD and euros, so I'll deposit money into those accounts and just store them as those currencies. And then for my daily expenses, I'll just convert a little bit. Now, again, the Armenian dram has remained really strong. They have a very, very, very competent central bank. So the dram has remained strong throughout COVID. Now, so with inflation, I'm losing out. So I'm trying not to convert that much and spend a bit less. But yeah, it's very simple. Like I can do it on the app really quickly. And now I'm in Canada visiting my family, so there's a little thing that I'm using to pay my utilities and so on. So can do all that online.
This is incredible. So, Patrick, just one last question. You are Canadian with the Armenian descent, right? You are Armenian Canadian. All right, perfect. Yeah. Similar like Pakistani Canadian. So I think a lot of us are kind of solving the cross-border issues. That's actually pretty good, right?
Sorry, Danish.
Yes.
I'm from Montreal. I'm just visiting my parents for the summer. So I'm in Montreal right now, but I'm going back to Yerevan in mid-September. But Jennifer just privately answered, so I think she wanted to do it public. So I'm the only one who sees it. But she's asking, can you be living in the EU, register your business in Armenia, and do business with both EU and US citizens? The answer is yes. There's no restrictions. Anyone can go set up their company right away, and you can do business. Just keep in mind that if you're doing this individual entrepreneurship, you're liable to a cumulative 5% tax. So there's no corporate income and personal income tax. It's just all in one shot, 5%. So if you're living in the EU, check the tax treaties, talk to a lawyer. You might be subject to a few other to double taxation over there. My recommendation is come to Armenia for a month, and if you like it, get a residency here. Well, here not in Canada, in Armenia, but spend 6 months of your year in Armenia, and then the 6 months in the EU. You'll save a lot of money. The nature is breathtaking. The food is incredible. The wine is like world class. Like we don't miss foreign wines when we're living there. There's so many incredible ones. And I've never met a place where there's so many startup founders or people creating amazing. Like I was telling Danish privately the last time we spoke that I stopped by to meet a friend for a coffee, and an hour later I walked out. We had a business plan ready to go. The lawyer was preparing the documents. Like I'm launching into a new business. I don't know any other place in the world where that happens. So it's a really fascinating place. It's not perfect. But it's a really great place if you're an entrepreneur and you're serious and you want to live on the cheap, but meet some great people and build your empire. Be connected to the EU and the US. It's great.
This is an incredible summary, Patrick.
My pleasure, Jennifer.
That's amazing to summarize it. We are going towards the end of the event. Jennifer, Really appreciate it. Yes, please feel free to ping Patrick. He would love to help, to answer any question. As you can see, Patrick is Canadian, so typical friendliness is there, and he would love to help you. Patrick, yeah. So you already covered the residency part. That will be my last question, because as a digital nomad, I'm also interested as a founder, looking for places to set up the businesses. So this company registration sounds really good. Single day in and out, or I can stay, open a bank account and multi-currency. That sounds awesome. One thing I wanted to ask you, if I want to become a tax resident, can I get a visa on the behalf? I mean, Canadians may not need a visa, but can I get a residency visa on behalf of my business registered there?
So unfortunately, Canadians actually do need a visa, which is really funny. So my wife as an EU citizen, EU and Americans don't need a visa. They can stay 6 months in Armenia. Canadians need a visa, but it costs $7 and you do it online and you get it. It's just really stupid, but you have that. Can you get a visa? Yes. When you register your business, no matter what passport you have, if you register a company in Armenia, you can then apply. You basically hire yourself and you get a work permit, which lasts, I think it's 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years, and then you would renew it. But it's very easy to get. It's very affordable. And so you can then become a tax resident of Armenia, which, like I said, is my advice. And even if like, just in terms of hiring talent, like I posted on LinkedIn that I need a new tech, like a tech CFO, it's chief technology officer. I found her within an hour. I interviewed for a Facebook ads manager. I found her within a day. And my team have all been, we're a team of 6, and they're all incredible. And I make them all register their own individual entrepreneurship. So they also pay 0 or 5% tax. And then I invoice them directly. So there's no VAT, there's no problems. So it's very simple. I don't like paperwork. I don't like complications and bureaucracy and stuff. So I just like clean and simple. And it's very easy. So I like doing that. And that's why. And they all speak perfect English and Russian and so on. So very easy to do.
Yeah, I think this is a huge thing you mentioned. Maybe it's lacking, maybe it's Stripe support, but it's kind of offering the talent which you mentioned. Because to be honest, it's been 6 months, I couldn't fill one position because I couldn't find the right people or people who are like willing to work. So I think what you mentioned is amazing. If I were to ask you, a lot of founders may be watching it, is hiring cost effective if you compare with, like, let's say Russia or surrounding countries, Turkey, like cost of talent?
It depends it really depends what your values are, right? So in other words, I can hire like tech support from India on the really cheap, but there's going to be there might be all kinds of ancillary problems that come with that as well. So, or Ukrainians or Russians or so on. So I'll just tell you, speaking from my own experience, is that my Armenian employees, so far we have our Facebook ads manager is Armenian, my graphic designer in-house is Armenian, the person who builds our website, so my coder is Armenian, my personal assistant is Armenian, and a lot of my business partners are Armenian. And Armenians being from all over the place. Oh, I forgot, my content writer, she's Armenian from Turkmenistan, but she speaks English like she's like born and raised in the States, even though she's never set foot there. She speaks the slang and everything. So this is the Armenian diaspora that's so international. Like the guy who builds my website is Armenian from Uruguay, so I speak to him in Spanish. So they've all been fantastic. It doesn't mean that there's no crappy people. I'm sure there are, but it's much quicker, much easier, and the concentration is really there because Armenia it's a startup and business capital. It's designing itself that way on purpose, right? And I would say this is what really sets us apart from Georgia, which is an absolutely beautiful country. Cost of living is about the same. Culture is very similar, right? So we have a lot of these similarities. Georgia has the beach. It has the stunning mountain views. We don't have the beach. We don't have the sea. So really the focus for us is creating a place where you can do business, where it's more serious, where you can find a team, you can create these startups, and the ecosystem is really there. And you do have global players. You have Service Titan, which is a $2 billion valuation. It's an Armenian company, and they have offices in Yerevan. You've got Skyla, which is a security company in the States, also offices in Yerevan. They're all Armenian founders. Something that digital nomads would know, for example, is Crisp. That removes the background noise on your Zoom calls. It's an Armenian startup, and it's $1 billion valuation.
Damn, that's
PicsArt, photo editing software. Yeah. PicsArt, which is the photo editing app that has over 1 billion downloads. It's an Armenian unicorn based in Yerevan. So the talent is there, the culture is there. You'll go out and have drinks and you'll meet startup founders left and right. You won't find that concentration anywhere else other than maybe Israel. So that's what I love about Armenia. Everyone's always doing some interesting project and so on. So in terms of networking, beautiful place. Lifestyle, you're half an hour away from the mountains, the lake, the forests, the nature's all there. So I'm happy there.
Yeah.
Come and visit. Maybe you'll be happy too. Maybe you'll love it. Yeah. One point I forgot to mention, which will be helpful for foreigners as well, is that Armenia, again, this is the rankings from this year. Armenia ranks at number 6 in terms of safest countries on the planet. So it's safe, it's friendly, food is great, it's cheap, and good talent. So that's why I love being where I am. That's why I don't want to move back to Canada. I'm happy over there. So yeah.
This is incredible. I am very really awesome to hear someone living there. And so you said beach. Of course, startup founders, digital nomads are in certain stages. We don't want all the time beach. We have to work as well. We need to network as well, and we need to raise funding. We need to raise round. We need to find talent, because that's how we grow business. Sitting on the beach may not always be growing businesses. So I think what you're mentioning, that a lot of digital nomads, founder digital nomad, value that a lot, networking and connection with VCs. So I'm so glad that you put it out. And I'm sure that the food would be awesome as well, because of the countries it's surrounded by. So the remix, this fusion of different cultures. So I'm actually, safety is awesome.
Exactly.
Startup network is awesome. Food, and the culture, the entrepreneurial energy and talent. I think these are the top points, I guess.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow. So I think we are already 4 minutes over. And hey, guys, 40 of the people who are right now, I know you're shy, so don't worry. You can ask questions directly to Patrick by clicking on the link on VisaDB, or you can check out the link here. But I really want to show my gratitude to Patrick first on the behalf of 145,000 people that you joined our session today. You shared incredible knowledge. And as an entrepreneur, as a digital nomad yourself, you shared that. We love that kind of insight, because you're one of us and you're sharing how's your experience. Is highly valuable for us. So thank you very much. And thank you everybody who joined or tuned in today. Next, we will be back again with another incredible guest like Patrick. So have a good day, guys. Thank you, Patrick, once again. Appreciate it.